Good afternoon, and welcome to another episode of Titan Uncensored. We have Mr. Recon joining us today because, we have to be on his time all the time. How are you today, sir?
I am fantastic. And you are on my time because my time is precious. That's why. It's very, very, very scheduled well in advance. So I did take the time out for all of you today. I'm doing it even while I'm eating my lunch here. For all you guys, you young guns in the business, you all think it's about, just what you do in the gym and, what supplements you're taking. Brother, if you aren't on chicken and rice, you're doing it wrong. So, little advice for all you non-dieter dudes.
I will also make a mental note of that. So we're here to talk about Monsoon 3, the anniversary show. You against Mr. Anthony Gangone, Dr. Sleep, as you will. I've taken some polls and some questions, fan-based people here, and they don't think you're going to take the titles from Mr. Gangone. I want to start from the beginning, when you were the middleweight champion.
Yeah.
Okay. I want to know why you went from going from screw Ray Kalitri, I'm going to go for bigger and better things like the heavyweight title, instead of just going back and retaining your back.
Well, the thing is I feel like I had done all I could with the middleweight championship. I had defended that against a plethora of various talents from Ray Kalitri. It took him 3 times and some help from his little buddy there, AJ Pan, to get the job done. And I fought off everybody: Colby Carino, Cheeseburger, Daniel Alexander. I mean, you name it, I beat them. You name it, I put them out. So what was there really I could do for the middleweight championship? Middleweight championship was practically non-existent before I put it around my waist. That title, everyone forgot it even existed. Once I had it, it actually became a coveted title. It actually was able to main event shows. If people forget that I main evented against Azrael and retained it. That was the first time it had main evented. And I clearly was ready for that. Main evented again against Ray, and obviously that was a losing effort, but it was just time. It was time to move up. It's nothing against the middleweight championship or that particular division. The heavyweight championship is what everybody vies for. Why? Because it's the top spot in the company. That's how it works. If you are not there in any company, if you are not there trying to be the top guy, you don't belong there. And no, not everyone is going to be the top guy, but if you're not fighting for that, if you're not fighting to be number one, to be the best you possibly can be, then you should probably pack your bags and find somewhere else, or just go home and don't bother getting in the ring again. If you don't have the right attitude with this, you're just wasting. So that's exactly why I went for it. And I could have cared less who was the champion. To be honest, it would have been a wonderful thing if Johnny was still the champion, because that's something that I think a lot of people would have loved to see me and him throw it down for the heavyweight champion. But it happens to be that the next best thing seems to be, snooze fest, Dr. Sleep.
Okay, I see. I want to speak to you tonight today. My hours are all confused. About your partnership now with Taram.
Well,
tell me a little bit more about that. About how you became friends.
Well, Blaze Aram and I go back to, I would say, 2019. He was trying to make a mark in the business right off the bat. Even when he was still green as goose shit, he was trying to make a mark in the business. And he clearly saw that I was somebody that he could take on, because he saw the buzz I was getting. Even then, I was getting the buzz. Even then, I was getting some attention. And for whatever reason, he said, well, that's the guy that I want to go after. At the time, we had some different matters of opinion and morality and just different beliefs. And of course, being the narrow-minded Americans that we are, we decided, hey, let's fight each other because we disagree with each other. That seems to be the going trend in the world today. Disagree with somebody, you hate them, so let's fight them. So that was what we did for those 2-3 years. It was about 2.5. And it was just at a point where each match continued to get more violent. Each match continued to get worse in terms of injuries and time off and time on the shelf. And it was basically like, well, we just can't kill each other, it seems. We can't just get rid of each other. And at the same time, we were both noticing that we were being pushed to the back burner, as it were, by companies that should be putting us in the forefront. So we said, okay, well, we both had the same problem. We both seemingly can't put each other away. We both seemingly are our best opponent. So how about we go get what we want? We want championships. We want gold. We want to be in the spotlight. We want to be in front of the line, which is where we should be. Not because, as little Anthony over there stated, that I'm good at kissing ass. He must have been looking at a mirror when he was saying that, because that's all I ever see from him. We did it from earning our way. And now you can say that we, earned those spots and earned those particular championships or contenderships by nefarious means. Listen, my philosophy is now a W is a W. When you look at that record book, it remains the same regardless of how you got it. And that's really it. We are both incredibly dangerous individuals, as I think we've all proven that time and time again. And collectively, together, we are even more dangerous. We are truly what it means when people say 1 + 1 = 3. For us, 1 + 1 = 5, because we just feed off each other. And that is why we are what you would call a two-headed dragon. Black dragon.
There you go. There you go. So now you had Mr. Haram help you win against Mr. Moran.
Well, I think that
there something that we might see more of. What are your thoughts on that?
I think personally, Johnny needs to go refine himself a little bit. And if people are forgetting, he also had his little buddy Roxas there to help him. I don't know how many times. So it kills me because people seem to forget about that and not give him crap for that. But they come at me and Blaze. So this is what I'm talking about, how it always feels that we are the ones that are getting attacked, or people want to push us down, push us to the side, because we are that dangerous. That is why they are afraid for their own place in this wrestling world, and they see us as a threat to that. So, as a threat to that. So.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm trying to. Okay, can you hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
That's better.
Yeah, double netty there for a second.
Yeah. Had to fix that problem. So what is your goal? Obviously your goal is to come out of Monsoon 3 with both the Funhouse title and the Titan Championship Wrestling title. What is your motive? What's going to happen with you and Gangone? I want to know what. Obviously, your goal is to get the titles from him, but how are you planning on doing that? How do you want to get your point across to Gangone that you will not be leaving him alone until you get these titles out of his hand?
As you've seen throughout the bit of that you've seen me, when I have a goal, I don't tend to stop. That's the thing. See, I might be the king of rock, but believe me, there's still that Terminator side to me. See, a Terminator has one goal, one mission, and he will not stop until he does that. So you either need to kill him, destroy him. That's the only way you can stop me. That's not going to work. See, Gangone doesn't want it that bad. He really doesn't. He just happened to be in the right place at the right time. Gangone, for what he can do in the ring, I never have once taken that away from him, ever. But when I see him walk out, whether he has championships or not, I just don't see it. He ain't it. That's just it. He is just not it. He's playing a role that is mine. That's my role. That's my place. That's something I was born to do. He just happens to be in it right then. See, he was cast into that role, miscast into that role of a heavyweight championship. That is a heavyweight champion that headlines show after show after show. See, here's the thing. He barely, and I mean barely, survived some, I don't even remember who he wrestled last. Michael something? Doesn't really matter. I don't particularly care what his name is. He barely survived against him, a guy that just walked in the door. I've been here. I've been in the door. This has been my house since I got here. I could care less if he curtain jerked the first show. That doesn't, what is that? Who cares? That's the biggest problem. And you can see the bias. You can see the bias right there underneath there. Mr. His little pink hairdo there. This is why no one listens to you or follows you, because you don't really know anything. You're just here. You're just here, and you don't belong here.
So you keep saying that Gangone doesn't have it, but what makes you have it? What? Because like you say, yeah, he's wrestled, you know, Michael Fane at the last show, and he barely got away, blah blah blah. But like, you lost your middleweight title to Ray Calitri. What makes him not have it and you have it?
I've had it since the day I walked into professional wrestling. I just had to find it. Now I found it. As you've seen at Titan and at other companies that we probably won't name here, you can see me every single time I walk out of that curtain. Every single time I walk out. I'm the man. Whether I'm the opening match or in the main event, I'm the man. And that has been it since day one. I have leveled up. Clearly, I have grown. Clearly, I've become better than what I was. Here's the thing. The real reason why I feel that I lost the middleweight championship, and this is the last time I'm going to address it, I was comfortable in my place as champion. Ray was hungry and absolutely needed that championship. That's where we're at. I am in that same place now. See, Gangone is comfortably going along because, you know, he's beaten Johnny Moran about 10 times. He's survived TJ Marconi about 3 or 4 or 5 different times. Everyone he goes against, to be honest, I don't feel is a legitimate contender. They're what we call pretenders. They might be in that spot, but that does not mean that they are the one to do it. Okay. They call him Dr. Sleep for a reason, not because he does a sleeper. There's plenty of guys that do sleepers. I don't particularly care about that. He is Dr. Sleep because he puts everyone to sleep. And I mean the crowd and the audience. Believe me, I've watched him plenty of times to know that. I come out, whether or not you hate me, whether you boo me or you cheer me, you are not sitting on your hands. You are up either enraged that I'm doing what you don't want me to do, or you are loving what I'm doing, even if it's so wrong and it's so against what society wants. That's why you love me. I do what you can't do. That's why the crowd loves me. The crowd would love to sit there, low blow somebody, kick somebody in the dick, slap somebody, shove their foot in somebody's face. Why? Because we are in 2023 and this world is going mad. This world is going absolutely batshit insane. That is why they love what I do, because it's what they want to do themselves, and they just can't do it because they're afraid of being canceled. They're afraid of being, you know, deleted off of everything. So that's why people follow me. That's why people you see me absolutely being the ever living crap out of an old vet, and they don't care. They love it. They might boo and pretend to boo for one show, but then they cheer at the next one. No matter what evil things I do, it doesn't matter. So I'm giving them what they want. I'm giving them the guy that has no rules, the guy that has no limits. Gangone has limits. And what kills me is, here's the thing about Titan management here. They sing his praises. Always sing his praises. They have for years. And no, I'm not saying that he hasn't earned anything in this business, that he hasn't busted his ass in this business. But here's the thing. People are remembering what he was a few years ago. He was super hot. He was right on that cusp. He was right on the edge, man. We were ready to see him on TV literally any day. And then what happened? It just didn't happen then, did it? And sometimes that really sucks that that doesn't happen. Sometimes it really, really sucks when things don't go your way. Trust me, that's happened to me too. But see, I didn't fall off. I didn't fall off. That's the difference. And
So I want to interrupt you for a second.
Even if I were to lose a match, I'm not losing this one, but even if I were to lose a match, it is so barely a loss. Most of the time, it's by absolute complete surprise, and I'm still the last one standing. Like, you can great, you can win something, but that doesn't mean that you're going to be standing at the end of it. So who actually won? Especially if I put you out and you're out for a couple months. Who actually really won the competition then? That would be me.
So you keep saying like, oh, the fans boo you sometimes, and then sometimes they're like super, super cheery for you. Are you sure they're cheering for you and not because they know you're going to lose to that opponent that you're going against? Like, are you sure that they're actually cheering for you? Because I feel like that's, I don't know. Like, woo, Rick Recon's going to get his ass whooped by Anthony Gangone. Like, that could be why they're cheering.
I doubt it. I doubt it. And here's why I say that, because they always cheer whenever my opponent's on the ground in agony and I'm standing above them doing this. They love that. They love this, and they love a cocky son of a bitch. And that's exactly what I am, because I know who I am now. See, even when I was, even before, like a few months ago, when I was holding gold, I still didn't really know who I was. And sometimes it takes you a while to know. Like, you could have it, you could still be the man, but sometimes you don't really know who you are because you haven't tapped into who you are. And
so let me piggyback on that. You said that now you know who you are. Who is Rick Recon? Who is Rick Recon? Explain to me.
The King of Rock might be a moniker, but here's the thing. You don't have to get plastered off your face to be a rock star. You can be a rock star by having the spotlight be on you all the time, 24/7. Okay? I am a rock star because of what I do in that ring each and every night I go out there. I am the king because there's no one better. The king is the top. He is the peak. He is the throne that everyone comes up to. lays their tribute at his feet. That's why I'm the king. Because everyone, regardless of who it is, comes to me at some point and wants something, needs something, expects something from me. And I could be a merciful king and grant that, or I could be a tyrant and tell you to go screw yourself.
Okay.
That is who I am. I am me. And if you don't truly know who I am, just watch a match. Just watch a fight, and you'll see exactly what I'm all about. I am relentless. I am ruthless. I am merciless. If you push me to that place that I used to not want to go, but now I live in it. So it doesn't, and I've never been more free. See, I'm actually going to take it back. See, this is actually, people can look at this as a full circle moment. Now that I am aligned with Blaze Haram, but Blaze Haram is the reason why I went to this place in the first place. Blaze Haram handcuffed me to a cage.
I remember that.
Proceeded to bounce a steel chair off the back of my skull multiple times. I then had to drag myself out of the cage. And I said after that match that the guy that came out of that match, that came out of that cell, was not the same guy that walked in. The old me slowly started to die and rot away. If you pay attention after that match, each and every time I'm in that ring, I would get in that ring, wherever it was. But specifically, I'm going to say Titan because that's mostly who this is for. This Titan events were what you yourself witnessed, with your own eyes. After that, each and every time I came out, I just continued. If you would see, I started to become just a little more brutal, just a little more ruthless, just a little more of a savage. And every single time, I just got a little badder, and in a good way.
So would you say that you peaked, or do you think you can go further and better yourself even more? Or do you think you're like right there at the top there? Or do you think that you can just continue and proving that you're Rick Recon?
I haven't even begun to peak. See, here's the thing is, first you start in a valley. You start at the bottom, and you have to then work your way up. And then you come to a plateau where it's just even, and you're just at that same level. And that's where a lot of guys start failing, is because they are at that plateau and they think they're on the top at that point. They think, oh, this is easy. It's nice and flat. I'm just going to coast. I'm going to put on cruise control, and I'm just going to keep on going the same way as it's always been. The problem with that is that's not the top. See, you come to the end of the plateau and it starts to go up a little more. And then you start to realize there's a really big ass mountain right in front of me. And it's got exactly what I want, and it's on the top. Now you could stay in the plateau if you want, if you're too scared, and let the real ones go get it. The real ones go climb up there and get bruised up and banged up and injured and hurt, but they just keep on clawing all the way to the top of the mountain. But see, some guys want to do that. Some guys want to claw and fight and all that. See, I go up the mountain, but I go hop on one of those ski lifts. And I just go all the way up, all the way right to that point where it's about the 3/4 mark. And then you can just have to hike the rest of the way. That is exactly what I did. See, Johnny wanted to sit there and go up the mountain and claw his little way up there, and he just kept getting knocked down by Gangon about a million times. See, it only took me one match. See, and also, Gangon had to fight, I don't know how many matches against Johnny to beat him in the first place. And he never actually really beat him to get the championship. He just kind of got the championship and then just retained it a bunch of times against Johnny, because Johnny was broken at that point. So you got a broken Johnny Moran, and it still took you 4 times to really get rid of him. It took me one match, singular, one match to not only beat Johnny, but also become #1 contender. I literally took the ski lift right to there. And people want to doubt my methods and doubt that I know what I'm doing. Come on. I know this game quite well by this point. You know, a lot of guys will go, oh, well, I've been in it for 15 years. Okay, well, in 7 years, I jumped past that point because I saw the mistakes and I paid attention to the mistakes that everyone else made. And I made my own mistakes, man, because if I hadn't, it probably would have been, 4 years in and I already would have been at the top. So it's not like I didn't make my own mistakes. And my own mistake was not being myself from the beginning. I was playing a character. I was playing a gimmick. I was playing what other people expected me to be. And I'm no longer being that anymore.
You stunned me this time. Very good, very good. That was solid work. Now, I want to end with this. Who are you, other than Gangon on January 14th, Monsoon 3, who else is in like the corner of your eye, the back of your head, the peripheral view, as you will, of who you want next?
It doesn't particularly matter to me who's next, to be honest. I'm not seeing a whole lot of contenders. I see a lot of pretenders. I see a lot of guys that are desperate to have a place in this world of professional wrestling, but they aren't going about it the way that they should. That's the biggest problem. They think that it's just about, what you do in the ring. And while that is paramount to what we do, you need to understand, if you do not carry yourself as a champion, even when you don't have a title, you aren't it. Okay? The man makes the title. I see a whole lot of the title making the man. I see that. I really do. Now, an example, and I will give him props, and this is where you can see that I am not the same person that I was before. Ray is now taking that championship that I leveled up, and he is continuing on that level. So he is making that title. So that, like I said, the last time I was going to bring it up, that war is done. That's past tense. Ray is doing, I will say he's doing a hell of a job in that place, but let's not forget that I'm the one who built that place. Now, as far as who's next, bring me better is all I'm going to say. When I beat Gangon, you best have someone lined up, and not any of these jokers that you've already got on deck. No, I don't need any of that. They best find the best of the best. I asked them for the best of the best when I was the middleweight champion, and they did it. They brought it. So why would you do that same energy and bring the best once I'm your new champion?
So you're speaking how everyone wants to move up. The end goal is the heavyweight title. This, that, and the next thing, right? I want to know. You froze for a second. We lost you. Hold on. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? I don't understand what's wrong here. Technical difficulties at its finest. Okay, well, that concludes our Titan Uncensored for today. I would like to say thank you, and I hope to see you all January 14th, Monsoon 3, Brick, New Jersey. If you have any questions, concerns, comments for Rick Recon himself, please comment below. We will make sure that he gets back to you. Thank you for watching, and everyone have a wonderful, safe weekend. We'll see you next Saturday.